Hi, AO. Good morning, or should I say, je m'appelle Shelley. I think I said that right. For whatever reason, my laptop decided that I'm French. Even though I told it not to translate, it still did. Even though I clicked on English, it still did. So, whatever. It's just another thing Zuckerberg put into place or whatever, but I'll get it fixed later. So, anyway, I'm coming to you from my phone instead. Sorry for the delay. And so my name is Shelley Merrell, and I own a fire protection company in Ventura, California. We do installation, inspection, and repair of all different types of fire protection services, and we do a lot of work for the local military bases here. So government entities are kind of our thing. I am here to answer some questions or to give my perspective, and hopefully one of you will get something out of it. Okay, my first question is from Zach Knock. Hi, Zach. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. The question is, how do you hold employees accountable when they lose misplaced equipment, any amount for a project? My company, Diamond State Technologies, specializes in working with access control, automation, cameras, and security systems. The reason for my question is an employee of mine misplaced a $700 in hardware, causing me to reorder the equipment for the loss of $700. When I worked for other alarm companies, they docked my pay until the equipment that was lost was repaid. This just seems unfair. Our equipment is pretty expensive, and docking pay just doesn't sit right with me. Thank you, mentors, for your irreplaceable knowledge, and thank you for making time to answer my question. My pleasure, Zach. And this is actually an issue that we seem to have quite often. Same thing with the fire alarm stuff. Of course, is a lot of money is invested, but we also have clean agent for FM 200 and high industry chemical stuff. So I definitely can understand your problem. In California, I'm not allowed to dock anybody's pay. So it's basically the way our state views it is you were the stupid idiot that trusted somebody with your stuff. I don't think that's fair. However, what I would do in your case is I would check with your local HR representative, somebody who's really clear on the laws and whatnot. I know that even when we have a legitimate deduction from paychecks, I have to have an authorized payment deduction form filled out and signed by that employee, especially for public works jobs. I end up having to do that quite often. And so there's a couple things you could do. Well, number one, check with your HR person. Number two, remember that it is the cost of doing business. Maybe what you might want to do, or what we have done here, is we've actually increased our prices across the board. And that allows for a little bit of a cushion in those areas. So yeah, we'd make less profit, but that was the intended purpose of that increase in rates. So it's okay. We've tried issuing people equipment. We have a lot of really expensive test equipment that sometimes gets damaged or dropped, or things happen. And even with that, like we can't really recover those costs, so we just have to factor them into a job. But again, talk to your local HR person because they know the laws in your state. I hope that helps, and I hope you have a really happy birthday. Okay, Kristin Pits. Advice, tips on how to handle running a business with a family member who is micromanaging and afraid of change. I'm starting the first phase of taking over my father's business of 30 years to eventually be running it while he's still majority shareholder. I'm going to be in training, learning how everything works. I have worked there before, and it is still running as it did in the 1970s. There are a few updates that need to be made, especially for growth. He is kind of open but afraid. It's hard to get him to see me as an adult because I'm ultimately still his daughter. Looking for strategies to build trust, become a valued asset and trusted teammate. Communication strategies for old school to new school changes. Thank you. Well, Kristin, a lot of people have been in this exact same situation, and it's never easy. I believe that the children of the business owners actually have to work so much harder than, say, a manager who has a resume that comes in and then starts implementing things. It is difficult. It really is. If I were in your situation, what I would do is focus on the dollar amounts. You could use Excel spreadsheets and like a PowerPoint presentation to prove your numbers on what something might save the company, or by doing a process differently, how it would save things, save money. Basically, if you can prove money, that is usually what ends up talking the best. What I'm wondering is if it's possible, if you could, say for instance, you have an idea on a new way of doing a certain process. I'm wondering if you could actually run the two processes parallel to each other and then do the comparisons, and maybe put together an Excel spreadsheet that kind of points out the significant dollar amounts, and that might start building that trust with him. But it is a very normal situation, and I think every family business goes through these types of challenges. Also, with him saying that he's kind of open but afraid, I'm curious, is he willing to take any like training classes? I mean, it sounds like he's trying to phase out of the business. So I'm not sure why he would care how you run things, really. I mean, ultimately it all comes down to money and dollars. But a question I would have is, when will he no longer be a majority shareholder? And is that coming down the road? Is it soon? Is it 10 years from now? I mean, what kind of time frames do you have to work with this? Because it can get really frustrating, but the more things you can put into dollar amounts, the faster you'll be able to prove to him that you know what you're talking about. I hope that helps, and good luck. Keep us posted. Joe Nugent. Hi, Joe. How do I offer benefits to my team members when I only have a few? Who do I speak with? I own a home inspection and home watch company. I work with people buying a home to inspect it prior to closing to ensure that the home is safe and all systems and components are working properly. I also work with seasonal residents to look after their slice of paradise. That rocks. I hope to have a slice of paradise there someday too. I can't remember, Joe, if you actually had gotten in touch with a local HR consultant or not. And I wasn't sure by your question, are you meaning that you only have a few team members or that you only have a few benefits? I know that you only have a few team members, but I'm wondering what you're wanting to offer out. If I were going to put out a new benefit, I typically will have a catered lunch and make it a very positive thing, and then present to them what I'm going to be giving them. What I've learned from experience, and I caution everybody about this, is when it comes to benefits, I would not, again, because I've done it before, I've made the mistake, I would not offer anything that I may want to take back later. For instance, if you want to provide health insurance, are you sure you want to provide 100% health insurance? That's the boat I'm in right now. And not many companies in our industry offer 100% health insurance, but I do because I always have and I believe in that. However, it's getting really, really expensive. And it would be nice to be able to say to them, hey, I'm only gonna pay 75% now, and you're gonna have to pay the other 25%. That's a morale killer. So, my suggestion would be to make sure you decide what you want to offer before you offer it. And I have no intention of taking away health insurance, but this is something that has been talked about, especially with, when you're trying to cut cost and whatnot, and it's gotten really expensive. So just be aware of that, but definitely consult with your local HR person as to what benefits you could offer, how much you could kick in as opposed to what they kick in, and that kind of stuff. But I'm so excited for your growth, and I'm super happy to see what you come up with. I hope that helps a little bit. Mariel Goodrich. She asked, how do I approach a brick and mortar restaurant about potential partnership to use their liquor license? Isle Barton is a mobile mixology service. I started the business in spite of COVID in November 2020. Congratulations. It's really awesome. I started it with the last of my savings after being out of work and out of my normal manager salary for 9 months. My service is very different than any other mobile bar service. I do not want to do a crazy long description like I did in my last question. I know you do really cool fruits and stuff like that, so that's really awesome. Sorry, I lost my place. However, it's important to know that my ideas have been stolen time and time again in every business venture I've ever started. In my state of Florida, congratulations being in Florida, you must own a 150-seat restaurant already operating with a liquor license in order to obtain a mobile liquor license. Being that I do not have a restaurant, I have found very creative ways to get around having a liquor license for private and public events. People keep encouraging me to reach out to restaurant owners and explain that I have found a giant hole in the market that needs to be filled. My fear is that as soon as I open my mouth, they will realize that this is a huge need, purchase a few food trailers, and take my ideas. Why would they need me if they already have a license and deeper pockets than I do? I just learned tonight that an old friend of mine recently got his license, and I feel safer approaching him rather than anyone else. What would make it worth him to risk his license to partner with me? This is definitely not my expertise, and I have no problem saying that. But if I were in your situation, the first thing I would do would be to have a consultation, and they're usually free. Have like a 1-hour consultation with an intellectual property attorney. That would be my recommendation. It's possible you could have somebody sign an NDA before you tell them what the idea is. I'm not sure how well that would stick up in court. Plus, that would just cost you money and everything. But, an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. I'm not sure. The fact that we live in a free country, that's what happens. People can take ideas and run with it, and that's kind of a problem. Sorry, of course, my cell phone, I got a phone call, so sorry. Why would they need me if they already have a license and deeper pockets than I do? One reason they might need you is maybe they are already tapped out doing everything they can running their business and wouldn't want to take on another arm of the business no matter what it is. If this friend is a friend and you feel safe with him, you could possibly approach him but not share the specifics of it. I'm not quite sure. I am not the person to ask on this one, and I highly recommend speaking with an intellectual property attorney. And I'm thinking Dan Abate or Joel Gandara or JT might give a much better answer to this question when they do their mentor sessions. So I will be watching to see how you do, and good luck with that, because, yeah, that's a bummer when your stuff gets stolen. It really sucks. Next question is Gabriel. Hi, Gabriel. Gabriel Suarez. I'm looking for suggestions or ideas for incentivizing team members for raising their total sales during shifts. Ideally, suggestions that have been tried before with positive outcomes. Okay, so, I guess I should go over the description. I have a chain of retail stores specializing in natural and holistic wellness. This objective of raising sales can be done a few ways, like getting more customers, having them come back more often, and in my opinion, the easiest one would be to improve at upselling existing customers. You're absolutely correct. My biggest challenge is finding an incentive program that encourages more sales without creating tension between team members or have them in any way feel the reward system is unfair or favorable to some. We have some employees that work a lot more hours than others do. Some work on busier days than others. One thing that I considered may be good is to reward based on each employee's average sale value instead of total sales or some other metric. We have some stores doing a lot better than others, and I'm starting to feel that this is more the staff working in the shops over it's the location or demographics. His elevator pitch is he's the founder of Natural Life Store franchise company offering brick and mortar franchise opportunity for Natural Life. Okay. One idea I was thinking of is, basically going with like a percentage of the profit. It would be based on each sale, the percentage of the profit, because you would want your overhead costs taken out already. The cost of the product would be taken out. I think a percentage of the profit would be a good way to go rather than the number of sales, because yes, you would then get that competition and fighting amongst themselves over hours and whatnot. So there's another thing too, that I was thinking of is when they meet their goal, they could be, you could do like a raffle thing where for every sale they get a certain color ticket, and that ticket goes into a little bucket, and then you have a raffle at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, however you want to do that, and raffle off something cool that people would want. The other thing too is you could do a second color ticket that goes into an annual bucket, and for each one they get, for each sale they would get a ticket, and it would go into that bucket, and then at the end of the year they would have an opportunity to win the big prize or something along those lines. I do think basing it on the percentage of the profit of the sale would be great. And if I remember correctly, I think JT has a lot of experience in setting up incentive programs and stuff like that. So he would probably be a great person to reach out about that. Keep in mind that money is usually ends up being like the number 3 factor of happy employees. Like, happy employees, often it's not money that's the issue. It's the working environment, the respect, how they feel, how they're treated. So if each location had like a special parking spot, you could have an employee of the month, have their picture, put it on the wall, give them a parking spot for that month, based on their sales. Like, you could either do it the number of sales, which might be a problem because of what you said before with the working hours and all that. But it's something that could be done. You could do employee of the month. We were doing, and we need to get back to it, we were doing employee of the quarter, and it was voted on by the rest of the employees. And then it would go on a plaque on the wall, and a picture would be there. And then at the end of the year, those 4 employees that got the employee of the quarter then ended up, I think we did it as like a raffle ticket, because they were all equally, I can't think of the word. They were all equally, like any one of them could have gotten it. They were, even. And so that seemed to work out pretty well. We have a completely different staff, and we have a completely different admin staff and technician staff than when we were doing that from before. And after I'm finished going through all of our HR dive with Marsha O'Connor's group, that is one of the things I want to get back to, is doing employee of the month and then employee of the year. And that's a fun way to have a positive competitive environment rather than the bickering and fighting. So hopefully some of those ideas might help. If I think of anything else, I'll reach out to you. Okay, the next one is Kristin Pits. What are ideas you would use to take more control of our sales process with our golf course clients in order to increase profits? We have 13 golf pro shop clients. We deliver, set up, removal products, etc., and it is 85-15 split of net profit. 85 goes to them. We do not have staff at shops. They use their staff, golf pros, etc., to sell products. Each shop has their own POS, point of sale system, to handle everything, including tee times, our retail, food sometimes, etc. Every course is unique. Some of them have created their own SKU number for our products. Others have just one single button for our products. A physical count inventory is done each month. We track everything on Excel to email and invoice. We are wondering how to increase our revenues. They all use different POS and not sure they would agree to be on same. Open to all ideas. Thank you for your time. Well, Kristin, my first thought on this is I am a vendor to many customers, and if somebody came to me and said, I need you to change your system to sell my product, I would be like, no, we're done here. So that's just my feeling. I get what you're saying, and it would make life a lot easier. I get that, but I would never want to approach that myself. As far as ways of increasing your profits, well, you were talking about the sales process, and anytime sales is involved, I automatically think of Tom Black. You definitely got to go to Tom Black for that, and he has his Pro Code sales software in the Resource Center in AO. So if I were you, I would take advantage of that. Listen to all the videos. There's tons of information in there, and if you're not getting enough out of that, book a call with Tom. Maybe some coaching for you and your people would help, and then you could then be teaching the people at the golf course like how you want your products to be sold, possibly. Dan Abate and Joel Gandara are also two resources. If I was you, I would reach out to, and that they'll probably be answering this question also. So that's we'll see what they come up with that, but I'm not an expert in that kind of stuff. I do know that if a vendor came to me and said, I want you to change your system, I would have a serious problem with that. So that's just my thought. Good luck with that one. Okay, so our next one is from Oscar Rodriguez. Hi, Oscar. He says, hi, mentors. As I am getting my business going and creating initial income, how you recommend for me to start paying myself? I'm in the used car sale business. Should I pay myself from each sale I do? Is there a formula or percentage I should put aside from each sale for overhead and to pay myself? Thank you. I'm very conservative and I'm very by the book. So, if I was just starting out, I would automatically set myself on a salary and I would pay myself as if I was paying an employee. I'm not sure what state you're in, and that could factor into the taxes and how payroll is run and all that good stuff. I use QuickBooks for my company accounting system, and I run payroll through that. I am set up with assisted payroll so that QuickBooks actually takes the payroll taxes out and pays them to the government. I am so terrified of being in trouble with the government that I wouldn't risk. I could never be one of those business owners that functions on draws. I just can't. I can't do that. I need that stability. I want to know my taxes are paid. I'm not, I don't have very good willpower. So I would get to the end of the year and get a 1099 and be like, oh shit, I got to pay these taxes. I don't want to do that. I would rather them have it and me not have to worry about it. I don't know what the other mentors will tell you, but that is my experience and my suggestion. Oh, that is the end of my questions. I didn't know. I thought there was another page, but I don't see it. Hi, Rosalie, and hi, Kimberly. Good to see you guys. I don't see any questions here, so I'm going to get off here and try to fix my laptop so that it's not in French. Kimberly, you might be able to help me with that. I did take French in the 8th grade, and I kind of remember a little bit of it, but not enough to have my Facebook running in French. So anyway, you guys have a fantastic day, and we will see you soon.